Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Transport Fever. So in our last video we got started with our very first train tracks, a couple of stations, and we are well on our way to making some nice money. If we take a look at our current route, 464,000 to the good, and I believe in today's video we can help that out some. So I was very puzzled in our last video as to why there was no food that was being taken out to this particular platform so that we could actually make money in both directions with our trains. And the best I can come up with as to why that's happening is that our Food 1 route, which is our road transport, is every 80 seconds coming through these areas, and that's simply better than what we have with the trains. So I think we have a better way of accomplishing this. And the way we're going to do that is we're actually going to open up the Food 1 route. And let's take a look at where it is. I mean, you can see 172 food is waiting. Well, we need to do something about that. I think a better use of our resources would be forget having the trucks come all the way down here and then take it all the way back up there. Why not just have them go from right here to Kansas City? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take San Antonio East completely out of here, and that way these guys will have no trouble, hopefully, in not only making money, but allowing our trains to get a lot more production. And in fact, here you go. 211 is here waiting for us. So really, we could use some more available inventory space on our train. So let's go ahead and pull up this particular train. You can see he's got a full load of grain coming in, 480,000 worth. Now he's going to pick up only 35 food, which was good before. I thought that would be a nice number. But now that we're going to be doing all of this as food, I think we might need some additional amounts. So what I'll do at some point is I'll actually have this guy go into the depot up here, back into the depot, and then I will add a couple of more, maybe 2 or 3 more inventory spaces for cargo. But this way, now Food 1 is dealing exclusively with the actual food and not the intermediary steps. So I think, as I said, we're going to be in much better shape, particularly with our trains doing that. That way they can make money both ways. Now, the next thing I want to get to in today's video is one of the things I mentioned in our previous video was I thought that this area was a very good area for another train route over here because, of course, we have tons of production going on at this quarry, and then we can basically just form up a line here. And what I've decided to try is I'm going to break this line down, because the more I thought about it, if we have going from the quarry over to the materials plant and then going over to San Antonio, that would mean that they're going to have to come all the way from San Antonio back to the quarry empty, because there's nothing we can have them carry from here back over to the quarry. So instead, I think I'll just go and split this in half and have a train or two going and delivering the rock, and then a train or two delivering the construction materials, and we'll see how that goes. But I think there is plenty of room to make that happen. So let's go into our rail setup, once again back to cargo, and we're going to put this guy right over here as close as we can get him. And let's see, a small street actually should be more than fine here, since we're not actually going to be using the street. We just need that connection. Let's see, now we need to come over here. I think I want to go on the top side of this, but we're getting right on the edge of this mountain, so we'll see how that works out. All right, let's spin him around, and I'm going to try to fit him like right down in here somewhere. And hopefully that will work out. Let's see, can we get from point A to point B? Yes, we can, and oh wow, that doesn't look good at all. That was a whole lot of 60 kilometers per hour. Let's try to see if we can get as close as possible to the 120 all the way there. So far, so good, actually. There we go. I like that quite a bit. Now, I'm estimating based on the demand here, we're going to need a second set of tracks. So let's just go ahead and lay that down. Say right there should be good enough. And we'll try to make a smooth transition for these guys. All right, there we go. Let's put our signals out here. One on the top level and one on this bottom level. Okay, I like that. Of course, we're spending some money, but we're over $10 million right now in the bank. We are doing quite nice, and that's a good thing because we're going to be spending some serious money on the trains. So let's go ahead and get our depot out here. And it slots nicely at the end of the tracks. Okay, so let's purchase our first train and get it started. All right, so let's expand this a little bit. And once again, we don't have any electric or diesel just yet. So we want the Atlantic this time. That's where we're going to start. So 1.73 million. Let's go ahead and put that down. And let's see, from here, we need freight. And we're only going to be using stone to and from. So I guess we can do, we have 2 gondolas. Oh yeah, this is much better capacity. Of course, it is twice the price as well, but I think we'll go for fewer of these compartments. So we'll keep the gondola and let's do, say 60. That seems like a good number for this, since I'm planning on having 2 trains. And of course, we're spending some money right now. All right, now we need to back out for a moment. We need to create our new line, which will be going from the quarry right over here. And we'll name this let's do construct RC to sort of mirror what we did with the road vehicles. All right, now we need to set our line, and sure enough, there we go. So it might take a little bit of time before the demand starts to show up here, but hopefully it won't take too terribly long, and we'll see some of this demand start to head over into here. All right, so we're still at $6.5 million in cash, so we've got a little bit of time and a little bit of leeway here. In fact, let's just go ahead and keep this window open because I want to see if it starts to fill up. Because right now it certainly should, but we may have to make some adjustments over here to our other transportation in order to make that happen. Oh, here's one thing I forgot to do. That'll be one thing that will keep it from actually working, is that I forgot to connect up the roads, and sure enough, as soon as I do that, you see some demand start to come in here. Very slowly, but we're looking at a frequency of 4 minutes for these, so I'm thinking this should probably work out pretty good going forward. In fact, yeah, you can see it's starting to come in now. Very good. All right, that's what we want, that kind of demand. If that continues, then we'll have the ability to put another train on here and feel good about having enough demand to make that work. I mean, we're already at very close to max production here, so they're looking at an upgrade. That'll be good for us. Let's see, by the time he gets back over here, it should be around max capacity at 60 or so, and that will be good. That's when we can start to look at perhaps a second opportunity. So that presents us with the ability that we can go and start looking in San Antonio to complete this and actually deliver our construction materials. So let's come over here and let's drop another freight station. Need to spin it around. Let's see, I think that's a pretty good heading. What about if I went one more? Okay, that seems to be pretty good, and we'll just drop it right out here on the edge. That's a bit much. Okay, I like this better. Now, there is a lot of uneven terrain through here, so we're going to see how this works. First things first, we need to upgrade so that we'll have another platform. So we want 2 tracks. You can see as I hit the 2, it's going to add another set of tracks here. That way we won't have to worry about trains running into each other. So let's go ahead and apply that. Cost us a little bit of money, but I think it's going to be well worth it. Okay, let's put our tracks down on this. And yikes, you can see 60 kilometers per hour. That is not wonderful. But first things first, can we make it all the way? We can. 1.79 million. Let's just go ahead and do the long connection, as it looked like it wasn't going to make much difference either way. So let's just go ahead and connect that up. And then we need a way to get some trains onto this part of the track. So let's go ahead and put one of these down. And somewhere in here, I want to make sure I don't get too much of an angle. Let's see if that'll do it. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's buy our train. Now remember, we're dealing exclusively with construction materials here, so we don't need to worry about any transportation for stone. So let's get our locomotive, and then we want our freight. And for this, we're going to want... All right, here we go. Here we go. Construction material. All right, so how many of these? 12 is the capacity in our state cars. So let's go ahead and see if we can get... so we got 36, 48, and 60. Okay, I like that. 60 is pretty good. It takes us down to $3 million in the bank, but I don't think it's going to cause us any long-term trouble, especially since our other route for this train is making some nice money. So let's go ahead and make a new route. We'll pick up from here and take it over to San Antonio. And we'll name this Construct SA for San Antonio. Then we'll need to get our new train up and running on that one. I don't think we'll have room for duplicate tracks and trying to merge them together for multiple trains like we did over here, simply because we've got so much bridge over here. Just a few areas that are not over bridges, so certainly not what we're hoping for, but I think we're going to be okay. Now, with this connection, if you'll remember, back over here at Construct SA, it only served one purpose, and it was to do the exact same thing we just set up a train route to do. So I'm thinking, quite simply, we get rid of this. Or, let's see, man, there's 111. Wow, that's a lot. Let's see what we've got. So, Construct SA. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these. Let's just send these back. Where are you? Not just send to the depot. We really want to sell it. And I really thought there was an option for that, but we'll just go ahead and do the send back to depot. There it is. There it is, a little bit ahead of myself. So send back to the depot and sell. And we're going to keep this one, but we're going to slow it down some. And we may end up getting rid of it overall. So that takes us up to 111 seconds. What are we getting over here? Just a little bit. It's 23, 24. Yeah, that's good. So let's get rid of maybe a couple more, and then we'll call it a day on that. Just to make sure, since we only are going to be running one train, we don't need to get rid of all of it altogether right now. Unless, of course, we are going to end up doing completely parallel tracks, which would mean all the way from one end to the other to run multiple trains, and I don't see us doing that right now. Yeah, this demand is quite nice, so we'll just stick with it here. And if we need to come back and revisit this, then we certainly can. But for right now, this guy's got 60, and that's a full load for him. So I think we're going to be fine. Let's narrow this down to just look at our new train routes. All right, and the SA, I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get into the positive there, but we're already at 1.2 million. And of course, that's going to play around dynamically. But I think our demand is going to be good over here at the train station, while not just obliterating the amounts that are going into the road vehicles. Yeah, I still think we're going to be just fine with both of those with some modifications. So now you can see we are positive on both, at least for the time being. But I like the trend line. I like where this is going. We're north of 1 million already for our first train that we set up. And we have, let's see, we have room for a second train. I mean, you can see right here the demand at 130. Yeah, we've got enough demand for a second train on this particular one. So let's go ahead and do just that. Let's go ahead and pick out our locomotive, and let's see, it was the gondola, right? Yeah, stone right there. So we're going to get up to 60 right there. We're going to put it on the RC line, and we're going to let him get going. All right, so our first train should take the other path. Back up, there he goes. And our new train is coming down. In fact, they shouldn't either one of them have to stop. Okay, yep, the first one just had to pause briefly as he came through, but otherwise, not bad at all. All right, this should start to take care of some of this demand, because you can see it is huge right now. We've still got some demand coming in over here, but that's something we might actually get rid of long term. Wow, I mean, this is huge. We'd have to further divide or add some more tracks out here for our trains, but yeah, this looks like this could be very profitable moving forward, as we are moving some serious rock back and forth now. That is huge demand, 200 now. We might even expand our trains. I'm not sure how much they can handle. I really don't want to overload them, but at the same time, we'll see. I am dying to try to get this up around 100, but again, I don't have a good handle on just how much we can do. Let's go ahead and send this guy. Just send him to the depot. We certainly don't want him to sell out here. All right, so now we go back into buy trains. We do freight, and this guy is doing stone. And so we want to go all right, there we go. That'll give us a little bit over 100. And there we go. Put him back on that. Oh, I'm going to need to wait a second. Our other train is coming through, so we'll give him time to get out of the way, and then these guys will be back up and running. All right, let's try to focus in on this guy. And you can see 108 right there. He's got it. So now we might not need to upgrade both trains right now, but we'll see. Because right now I'm liking what I'm seeing from the demand over here and what this should do for our money. You can see we're already over 2 million on this. We're at 5.5 million in money, and of course no debt any longer. I think we're going to be in good shape. We're just starting March of 1911, and we're around $1 million to the good already. All right, let's see how much money we're going to get for this. 1.22 million. Yikes. That is a great amount. All right, so now let's see how some of this demand shakes out. So I'm assuming this guy is completely full. And yes, that more than leaves enough for us to have a full load with our other train. So this is working out rather well. Really starting to wish that I could expand on this one. We've got, you can see 48, 49. We're close to 50 now. Are we going to have enough demand for him to be full when he gets back? And I think the answer to that's going to be yes. And oh yeah, we're gonna have just enough. So right now it doesn't look like we really need to expand. We've got just enough to maybe add 1 or 2 more carts to our locomotive, but probably not any more than that. And certainly don't have the demand right now for additional trains. Wow. Okay, we're still sitting 135 over there. Did I not get rid of all those? No, I have not gotten rid of all those. Okay, in my head I was thinking that I had, but now I remember we decided against that, at least for the time being. But like I said, I am really itching to set up additional tracks. It's going to be expensive, but I think it's going to be good. But I'm going to hold off on that for the time being. Still just tons and tons of demand, but the more I see these profitability numbers, something like 1.28 million, it's going to be hard for me long term not to incorporate these construction materials into an additional line over here, even with the cost that comes with it. All right, demand looks to be slowing down a little bit over here. So we're not going to be quite, okay, this is the train with only 60. So, okay, he won't be quite full, but that won't be bad. That won't be bad at all. All right, let's come back over to our food, and wow. This is huge. Okay, so we're going to need to get some more onto our trains long term. We're going to need some more cargo space because we are killing this right now. We're going to need to get, let's see, what do we have for our freight wagons? And we're going to be looking for food, which is in the box car. Okay, so we have capacity of 12 right now. Okay, cost us almost $600,000, but that's okay because we're sitting around $12 million right now. So once again, we've taken yet another leap in our profitability. These trains are really working out well, and I will continue offline to look for different connections that we can make and even improve our cash flow even more over the long term. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Transport Fever.